I would like to welcome you to the upper echelon. I want you to be honest and don't you lie. Don't you think of lying. Be for real. You're not a Bud Crawford fan. You just hate Spence, right? Hate it or love it, the underdog's on top. Coach Derrick James is not only a coach, but he is a teacher, a philosopher. He has a doctorate or a PhD in boxing. He breaks down boxing to the smallest molecule. He knows everything about his students inside and out, strengths and weaknesses, their limits, and also how to push them. He also teaches them to push past that limit into a new dimension of skills. Boxing is chess, and Derrick James is Bobby Fischer. He is always 12 steps ahead of his opponent and his boxer's opponent. And he comes with his own secret techniques in teaching it, like a Shaolin warrior. With Spence, he comes with the ruthless barrage of body shots. With Charlo, he has a rifle and pistol and shot that pinpoints accuracy and timing. And with the young Frank Martin, who is exceptionally well and underlooked, he comes with a pinpoint pulling cobra punch that sits him down eventually. And he teaches them how to transition from defense to offense, all in a different set of ways, in a different style to match their build as a character. Master of the 10,000 hour technique. No one can exceed without an innate talent. Achievement through talent is through preparation. Nobody walks into an operating room straight out of a surgical class and does world-class neurosurgery. And secondly, the most crucial amount of practice is necessary for exceptional performance. So it's extensive practice that people end up on top, and they also have someone to guide them with the conditions that make all the practicing in the years possible to achieve the enlightenment and the greatness of their craft. The average time to reach master status is at least 11,000 hours, and to reach a status beyond that is 14,000 hours. And Coach James and his students put in hours on hours on hours. They at a grand stage of enlightenment and understanding. So anyone who steps in the ring against any of Derrick James' students will be going against one of the most prepared people ever. It'll be the fight of their life because they're always going to be fully prepared mentally, physically, and emotionally. And they're going to perform at the level beyond the top level because this is what Derrick James teaches. This is what he practiced. This is what he instills in his fighters. Now we're going to take a look at Errol Spence, Jermell Charlo, and Frank Martin, and how Derrick James has provided a special style, a Shaolin style, for their own skills and abilities to attack their opponent and become victorious and a grand master in their craft of boxing. For his prize pupil in the boogeyman of boxing, he developed the 47 ruthless, raging, body destructing, soul disrupting, organ malfunctioning, defensive piercing, bludgeoning shots. What this consists of is he builds Spence stamina to a higher level, a level strong enough for him to throw at least 150 shots over 20 rounds. And he builds the body shots. Errol Spence is known as the body snatcher. When you in the ring with Spence, one thing for sure and two things for certain, you will get the body snatched. He developed a style of going to the body, then back up top. Derrick James has taught him how to transition from defense to offense within 100th of a second. When he throws the right, he blocks with the left, and as he throws the left, he comes up with the right. It's like he was a punching buddy, but he does it within 100th of a second so that the naked eye can't see it. You have to slow it down with a speed lens camera. But Derrick James also taught him how to get in the nitty gritty and to keep him away with the jab. Keep him away with the jab. Plus, he taught him that the jab starts everything. The jab is the end all, be all, start all, finish all. When you lead with the jab, it opens up the door to the house. Then you can go in any room, the front room, the living room, downstairs, or the basement. And Errol Spence likes to camp out in the basement. And he goes into your body. into your body. Then he goes up top to the head, back to the body. And it's called the 47 ranging shots because it's like a kata in Kung Fu. If you watch the way the man moves so gracefully, every time, every fighter, you can put him in front of the punching bag or in front of the pads. Errol Spence fights in rhythm. He fights in an emotions of over 10,000 hours of training. Like I've explained to you, when you train for over 10,000 hours, you become a master. Over 11,000 a grandmaster, and over 14,000 hours, your body has muscle memory. And Errol Spence's body has muscle memory. And when you have something perfected, it's hard to change up perfection. But what you can do is perfect the perfected. And the only thing that needs to be perfected about Spence's style is building up the punch resistance. So as he punches, he expects to be hit back as he throws. But they building a resistance to the punches. That's why Errol Spence trains with light heavyweights and heavyweights and middleweights, so he can develop the shots and the defense to take the shots. And his power is so great in magnitude as he begins to unleash his barrage into his opponent's body that their hands drop. And when he starts into his combo motion, their hands drop and his hands rise. So you go body, body, head, head. Most people, once they feel the power and the shots into their body, your body instinctively, without your permission, goes to cover where you are hurt at. And when you go to cover where you hurt at, you leave your face open. And that's when he starts attacking up top. And Errol Spence has the best sparring ever because he has another of James' initiates in there with Jermell Charlo. So him and Errol Spence both going through the grueling Shaolin training, and they get to spar each other. I mean, high class, first rate, in real time sparring. Iron sharpens iron, and you got two diamonds rubbing against each other. When Errol Spence goes into the 47 raging punching, notice how he starts off slow at the bottom and then he comes up, and then it's in a pattern. You could put any boxer in there and it's the same. He measures with the jab. Once he finds his range, then he starts going to work. It's like a lumberjack with an axe bringing a large oak tree down. As many whacks will finally bring it down, and he's tenderizing the body. And as he's tenderizing the body, the meat is getting soft. And if you can't stand in there and take these shots and throw at the same time, then it's nothing you can do about it. But when you are throwing at the same time, you also set yourself up for danger, setting yourself up for pain. If you haven't put your body through the rigorous training of taking shots and delivering them at the same time with tenacity, then you're completely outworked. So the fight Errol Spence gained is to go in there facing certain loss. What people fail to realize and what they're missing is that Errol Spence has an impeccable defense. First off, the best defense is a great offense, and Errol comes with an offense out of this world. And his offense provides defense because he's throwing bludgeoning shots that hurts, that can cripple, maim, and disable. So to hit him, you gotta risk taking a shot into a sensitive spot. A lot of people will try once or twice, and once they feel what comes, they're not too willing to train. And so that slows the punch output of the opponent. Secondly, Errol brings his hand up into the phone booth position. As he's firing with the right, his left blocks. As he fires with the left, his right blocks. Plus he rolls with the shots and he turns his head while he's down there. A lot of people don't notice that. So that allows him not to get hit flush in a key spot. Plus it allows him to roll and filly out of it. But with that being said, the motor will get him over across the ocean, because when that motorboat starts running, a lot of people stall out, just like Ugas and most of his other opponents. So Derrick James, he seen that Errol had a high output, and he seen that Errol can take a shot. The man took a flying window shot from a Ferrari at over 100 miles an hour, only broke his mouth. That's what I'm saying. So Errol is the most complete, incredible fighter ever. He's like Hagler, mixed with Leonard, mixed with Jones, mixed with power. And that's all I can say. People say Errol don't have power. He has demolition power. And when he comes out there, he's the demolisher. And people say he don't have all these knockouts, he don't hit that hard. See, the difference between Errol Spence and people like Crawford is Crawford hits you with a shot you don't see coming, so you're shocked and knocked out. See, when you see Errol Spence throwing it, you see the shot coming, so you brace for impact. And just because you brace, that means you can take more because you see it coming, but all it's doing is damaging you worse. Like when Houdini used to sit there in front of a cannonball and tighten up his stomach and take the shot. Yeah, he took a cannonball to the stomach, but eventually he died from a ruptured stomach. Yes, from taking them shots. And anybody that fights Spence while he's in his Shaolin technique of the 47 raging palms will end up destroyed. Mikey Garcia has just retired after going through the 47 raging palms. Look at Lamont Peterson, a shell of himself. Danny Garcia, 3 years before he got back. Kell Brooks, broken orbital. Keith Thurman, he's running. He don't want that. It's hard to stand toe-to-toe and go against the monster that is the 47 bludgeoning palms of Errol Spence. And he done developed it so perfectly because he's put in the hours, the patience, and the fortitude. He stays in the gym. Him and Derrick James perfected the craft. First they perfected the motor, then they perfected the punching, then the defense. Now it is a perfect craft. It's like the hidden boss, and he has that one shot that takes you out. Whereas Errol's shot is the 47 combo. Like Killer Instinct, when they say Ultra, Ultra, it's this Ultra combo. And once you get caught in it, once your motor slips, once you let him get close, and he starts working the combo, right then and there, your time is limited in the ring. Either the ref gonna stop you, the body gonna stop you, or he gonna stop you. But no one can sit there and take a full round of the 47 bludgeoning palms, especially when Spence has had strength and conditioning training. Because with him and strength and conditioning, he's a whole unstoppable monster. The 3 guys in a row that he didn't stop was because he went through fat camp. But now he's back, and he's more focused. And Sensei James has got him in there looking for the final form. He's done reached Grandmaster stage. Now he's going for the final form. The elite form that's been hidden, the hidden dragon. And yes, with the teachings of Derrick James, who also works out alongside his students, it's just a matter of time before the 47 bludgeoning palms transfers into the Buddha palm, or the immortal palm, or some kind of palm that means the greatest of all times. And I'm not saying Spence is the greatest of all times, but he has a chance to become that way. And we only seen him at 147. He's gonna be a lot stronger and bigger at 154 and 160. Like he said, we haven't seen nothing yet. When he gets to that better, he's going to be a lot stronger and more powerful. Then we get to see the real 47 bludgeoning palms. And we get to see what it would do to people. But right now, everybody that's faced Spence has had a lasting memory and a lasting impression of what he can do. Like Michael Irvin said, he's breaking motherfuckers' faces. Pardon my French. But yes, he's breaking people. And that's what you have to do. Break people. Because boxing is a sport of pride and a sport of skill, and it's the only sport that you don't play. And the greatest way to take out your opponent is to break them, because they are all men in that ring, and no man wants to give up, and no man wants to be weak or a coward or lay down. So Derrick James devised a plan in which you can stop your opponent and still leave him some dignity. But anybody that goes in the ring with Spence, boxing life will lose a lot of years, because this man is not one to get in the ring with and be taken lightly, because the 47 bludgeoning palm is a dangerous technique. I call it a forbidden technique because it targets all your soft spots, all your chakra points, where he's hitting and digging into your ribs, your side, your liver, everywhere that's soft. And see, when you punching against something soft, you can let your hands go without worrying about hurting your hands. That's why Spence digs in that body. And if you take the body, the head will fall. So yes, the 47 bludgeoning palms is almost undefeatable. But who has found their way to beat it? Will we ever see it, or will we won't? It's up to the future. Everybody before Derrick James is a master, so the 100 stinging bees into the pulling counter cobra strike is the best style for young Frank Martin, because he's so athletic, so quick, power in both hands, and he's very technically and skilled, and his reflexes are like that of a cobra, better yet, a king cobra, and Derrick James utilizes that to the best of his abilities. First, Sensei James makes sure Frank Martin is in the best physical shape possible, and training alongside the likes of Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo, he has no choice but to be in the top physical position and a peak of himself. And with those two guys beside him, he's gonna push beyond that barrier. So Frank Martin shows up in the incredible shape in which Derrick James has him in. He practiced countless hours as all of Sensei James' students, and he works on timing and speed, and he will lead out with the jab, and he comes with the cobra strike. A lot of times you will see Frank Martin, he leads with the jab, he'll pause a couple times, wait for you to move, and then he strikes just like a cobra following a fluke, and he pays attention to his opponent. And if you watch, he's sitting there always watching, eyes is always there, and as soon as you make a mistake, it could be a deadly one, a fatal one. When you get stung by the cobra, the poison courses through your veins, and just like a poisonous cobra snake, Frank Martin delivers his shots quickly and efficiently and effortlessly. And the stinging bees, you getting injected with this venom every time he pounds you, because he is very lightning fast. I mean, it's like the speed of light the way he tags them. But the secret to all Derrick James techniques is fatigue. See, all of his fighters go into a fight willing to go 20 rounds, 15 rounds, as many rounds needed to be to get the victory. So when a fighter starts off against another fighter, y'all both is at 100% energy. And the reason why Derrick James fighters look like they're getting stronger with the fight is because they don't reach their plateau until late into the fight. As they reach their plateau around the 6th or 7th round, the other opponent has been sapped of his strength from the stinging shots. The bees are stinging, sapping his strength, sapping every ounce of fortitude out of them. So by the time they reach the 6th or 7th round, they're already on a sharp decline. That means they're not even 40 or 30% of themselves, while Frank is just now hitting the peak, just now hitting his stride, and now he's ready to unleash everything that he has worked so hard in the gym for. And that's why the farther the fight goes, the sloppier the opponent gets. A sharp knife, after it's been used so long, becomes dull. And when you become dull, that's when you get hit with the pull and counter cobra. And when he pulls back and fires, it's hard to survive the strike from a cobra unless you got anti-venom. And too much venom will overpower the anti-venom. So watch, every fight you see Martin in, you will see 100 bees sting. Every time you get hit, that's your energy. It saps your body. You sapping strength. You're sapping power. And when you continue to get stung over and over and over, you have nothing left. And when you're sitting there and you're just right there and the cobra got the stare on you, locks in eyes on you, and then guess what? It strikes. And once the cobra strikes, it enjoys its meal afterwards because it paralyzes you. Have you ever seen how a cobra paralyzes its victim with fear? See, he's done been stung 1,000 times, 100 times, so many times he can't count. So now he's just trying to make sure he doesn't get hit again.
and in the process of not getting hit, he makes a mistake. He throws a foolish shot, and the snake rears back his ugly head, and then it fires within a blink of an eye. The blink, and it's all over. And Frank Martin has that type of power. He has that type of stopping ability. He has those reflexes. Like I said, Derrick James is a master. He's an artist. He's a sensei. A sage, even a guru. And he knows how to utilize each fighter's special abilities and hone it to maximum effectiveness. The 135 division is on notice because Frank Martin is there. And he is a force to be reckoned with. And he could go toe to toe, blow for blow, body to body, and skill for skill with anybody in that division. And it's going to be a hard press for you to take down any of Coach Derrick James' fighters. Just look at them. Top shape, excellent skills, and perfect tutelage. And they use them to the greatest ability possible. Plus, the teacher and student bond is so great because not only is he their teacher, he's also their mentor. And Derrick James has the greatest gift of all. He has his students' trust. And when a person trusts you fully like Charlo, Spence, and Martin does, then there's nothing that they can't do together because anything he tells them, they know it's for the best. And they know that he would not put them in a situation which would not benefit them. Frank Martin, future undisputed champion.
Jermell Charlo's perfect positioning, punishing pulverized piston punches. And that is a mouthful, but hey, Jermell Charlo is a handful. And see, he's one of the dynamic three that Derrick James teaches his forbidden techniques to. See, Derrick James teaches the secret art of boxing. And we're not talking about just regular boxing, we're talking about the secret art, down to the nitty gritty. And Jermell Charlo, who was once an esteemed boxer, who had lateral movement and distance, who controlled with the jab, became a pistol potent power puncher when he got with Coach Derrick James. Yes, he still has all the speed and all the defense he had, but now he has learned to sit down on his shots. And when I say sit down, I'm talking about kick your feet up, rest, and let it go. And he all starts it with the jab. Derrick James teaches him the jab. The jab is the most fundamental aspect of everybody in Derrick James' stable because the jab is the opener, it's the closer, it's the beginning, the end, the alpha, and the omega. And everything starts with the jab. If you have a good jab, you can reset your opponent. You can start your opponent. You can get it started and you can control the distance, control the range. Your opponent try to attack you, you can reset it. You can stop them. They cannot get going. They cannot sit down on their power. And Derrick has taught all three not to let a person sit down on their power. But you also use it as a range finder, in which Jermell Charlo does that most exquisitely. And when I say that, he comes with the pistol popping punch. He will pop, pop, boom. Ask Lubin. Lubin is a perfect testament. Plus, there has been many people that went against Jermell Charlo and seen his sublime skill and his speed. The way he sets up that pistol punch when he will pop with the jab, turn, pop, pop, fire. And when he fires, it's a detonation. And it will blow up any situation. And not only is he such a ruthless and crafty counterpuncher, he can box. He can go from pillar to post. There's nowhere you can go. And Derrick James teaches all his people how to cut off the ring. So they can box you, they can bang you, they can pound you, they can slash you, they can dash you. They just leave you on the side of the road whenever you're done. And like I told you before, the key to all of Sensei Derrick James's forbidden jutsu, as they would say in the ninja world, or his Shaolin techniques, is stamina and endurance. All his fighters are in the tip-top shape. They are prepared to go above and beyond the Call of Duty. 15 to 20 rounds, throwing at least 150 shots. That's what they train for, because you must prepare for the unexpected. And see, they prepare so much because they know if they take shots, that's going to bring their stamina down. Plus, they're going to also throw shots and keep it going. And that's what they do. Plus, Jermell Charlo has one of the best sparring partners, just like Errol Spence does, because he sparred against Errol the True Spence. And what better partner could you have? The only person that had a better partner than him is Errol himself, because these are two iron blades sharpening each other, two Ginsu knives ready to slice open a fellow competitor. And one thing about both of these guys with Frank Martin, they have an exceptional motor and they don't get tired. They do not get tired. That's why when the fight's nearly over and their opponents is gassed out, they seem so much stronger because they're still around 75 to 80% while the other opponent is fading out. And that's when the stoppages come. And that's when they do it. They will use precise precision shots to break you down and put you away. Look at Castaño. Look at anybody that's fought Jermell Charlo. As the rounds get longer, the punches get stronger, and it starts to be a massacre in there because his precision, his preciseness, his accuracy and power seems like it gets stronger and better because his opponent is getting weaker. And that is the secret to Derrick James and his forbidden jutsu, his forbidden Shaolin techniques, is that he has his fighters in a tip-top shape with pinpoint accuracy, with power shots. They do not waste movements. They do not waste punches. Every punch that Charlo, Martin, or Spence throws is meant to do damage. It's meant to do what it is supposed to do. They do not waste no energy, no movement. Everything is calculated, and they do it so much and so much in rhythm. Their bodies does it by itself. It's called muscle memory. So you can go in there with your eyes closed and they will still outbox a person, still put a person in the dirt, as Spence once says, because they have all the keys to success, and all they do is oil it up like a well-oiled machine. You can get 500,000 miles out of the motors that they got because it's well-oiled and it's taken care of. And when you see the precision shots from Charlo, or you see that pull counter with the 100 bee stings from Frank Martin, or you see the 47 bludgeoning palms from Errol Spence, you know Sensei Derrick James has the playbook. Plus, he has a keen eye to read the defense, and he lets them know when it's time to turn it up, when it's time to pour it up, and when it's time to let's go. They don't get paid for overtime, but they will take you out in the deep water and leave you there. Put a hole in your boat and watch you sink, because this is sink or swim, big fish, lions only, the GOAT season. And this is how they do that over there. There isn't a better teacher in all of boxing. And even though he got gypped, he got shunned, and didn't get coach of the year, that's fine. He is coach of the decade, with one undisputed fighter, one fighter on the verge of undisputed, and one rising talent who will be undisputed in the future. Coach Derrick James, the sensei, the guru, the Shaolin teacher of the dark arts, the special forbidden fruits of boxing. Even if they don't want to acknowledge it, the people, we acknowledge it. It's over with. Boxing's taking over. Strap season. Man down. Big fish. Derrick James.